Good day, dear friends. Today I wanted to talk specifically about how, if you have one greenhouse, to properly install the next one, or how to install several greenhouses at once. There was a video a long time ago about how to position a greenhouse. You can watch it if you haven't seen it. And there were quite a few questions about having one greenhouse, and how to install 2, 3, 4 greenhouses. If we start from the rules of positioning according to the cardinal directions, one greenhouse is fine, but the next one already doesn't work. That's exactly why this video was made, to shed light on this issue. So, we have one arched or gable greenhouse, it doesn't matter, and we wanted to install a second greenhouse, or we want to install 2 greenhouses at once. What are the options for their placement? The first option is that we make a block arrangement, and the second option is that we place the greenhouses side by side. Each of these options has its own disadvantages and advantages. So, the block arrangement. We reduce heat loss, that's one, and secondly, we save space for the installation of greenhouses. In the second option, there is a direct gap, which can be from 1 meter to 2.5 meters. This is the so-called hangar type of greenhouse construction, and this is a block arrangement when we have greenhouses in blocks. The advantage of the block arrangement is space saving and reduced heat loss. This option is only possible in cases where we have constant heating in the greenhouses, that's the first thing. Secondly, for this option to work, there must be quite a strong support to hold these two structures, and secondly, there must be heating laid for this water runoff. The fact is that snow will accumulate here, and to remove it, we must have a heated greenhouse, and what is heated must also melt here, that is, we additionally lay down power for this snow to melt and flow away. Furthermore, if we make such an option, we must have an angle of inclination of at least 2%, that is, for every meter, we must have a 2 mm slope, otherwise the water will not drain. That is, the block construction option means we must have top heating for all the snow to melt and go away. This is the disadvantage of block greenhouses. We constantly have to deal with snow and rain and take all these factors into account. Regarding the hangar-style placement of greenhouses, these greenhouses may be unheated, and the design should be such that snow slides off on its own. If we are placing greenhouses, we must maintain a distance between them. The minimum is 1 meter, but I would recommend 2.5 meters. Why? Because snow will start to accumulate here and grow. This snow presses on the walls, and here you can have collapses, which is additional pressure on the walls. When we send a person in here, it's difficult for them to clean all this, and imagine there are a certain number, say 10 greenhouses, and 1 person. How long will it take them to clean all these spans if it's constantly snowing? The argument for making it smaller is that snow falls rarely now, especially in the Kiev region of Ukraine. Snow falls rarely but heavily, so in case of heavy snowfall, you can gather a certain number of people who will quickly clean everything. There's also a situation we encountered when it snows with rain, and ice blocks immediately form. A strong wind starts to blow, and if the distance is small, this snow in the form of ice flies off, hits, and breaks the adjacent greenhouse. I saw this with my own eyes during the handover of a greenhouse when customers came to look, right before our eyes. During the wind, a piece of ice block flew off and broke the neighboring greenhouse. These moments also need to be taken into account. This is an extreme case of operation that happens in such situations. If we install greenhouses at a distance, it is recommended to make a slight slope here, the same couple of degrees, and a small channel. For what? So that we can drain water and snow that accumulates here and then melts. I encountered a case where they dug trenches for the greenhouses and leveled this area. It turned out that it rained and snowed, and due to the fact that the greenhouses were slightly submerged in the ground, everything started to flow and seep here, leaking through the soil, so water started to get in here. Therefore, there should be at least a small slope between the greenhouses, and ideally, there should be a pit here to make a small drainage. When we have a distance of 2.5 meters, why 2.5 meters? Because when there is a large amount of snow, even a small tractor can drive here and clean everything. If the distance is small, 1 meter, when a person starts cleaning, they can accidentally hit the film with a shovel or something, and if it's film, it has happened that they hit the film, cut it, or break it. Therefore, when there is a distance that allows equipment to drive carefully, it is generally very convenient to clear snow. That is, in places with a lot of snow, you need a greater distance between the greenhouses and to make a small depression that directs all the snow and all the water here so that it all drains away. Now the next question is, how are they located? That is, when we have many greenhouses, or can they be connected, that is, forming a cascading multi-block structure. If our greenhouses are located here, it is better if the sun is here, all the south side, then our greenhouses will all warm up evenly and be illuminated evenly. I encountered the following option. A project was made for vegetation greenhouses. They were placed with a certain step, and this angle. If we take this as a vegetation area, yes, it turns out these are single slope arched greenhouses. They were of this shape, and the next greenhouse was at a distance. The distance between the first and second greenhouse was such that in winter, when the sun rises at noon, it should fully illuminate both the second greenhouse and further down the chain. Therefore, if we install greenhouses one after another and want maximum light to enter here, they should be at a certain distance so that at noon in winter, light falls on the entire greenhouse and the subsequent structure. These are the basic rules in principle. If you decide to install several greenhouses, use these rules, and everything will be fine. If you need help in building these structures, we can also build all these greenhouses according to all the rules and based on the latest technologies. With you is Alexander from Eco Teplitsa. Live in harmony with nature and in rhythm with progress. Until next time.